What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Zero Productions. Daredevil Born Again, you guys, is definitely got to be one of my most anticipated Disney Plus shows in a long while. I cannot wait to see how they're going to adapt this particular storyline for a Disney Plus format. But don't worry, I feel like the much darker, grittier tones of Daredevil, and now that the fact that Disney Plus is kind of going to be showing a little bit more of that mature content, we are in good hands. Marvel Zombies is supposed to be R-rated. We have we have Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan on Disney Plus now. And I heard that the CEO wants to merge Hulu over to Disney Plus. So as far as like tonally, I think that we're going to be in good hands. It's 18 episodes long. The longest Marvel Disney Plus series of all time. And I love it because this particular character and the dialogue and the storytelling that what they created over there on Netflix was astonishing. It was brilliant. So my expectations for this Daredevil in the MCU is very, very high. And I will not take anything less, you guys. But it's now been rumored that Jon Bernthal, you guys, will be replacing a certain character that was supposed to show up on the Daredevil series on Disney Plus. Let me read you guys some of this article, but boy, oh boy, this is very interesting. So Jon Bernthal reportedly returning as the Punisher on Disney Plus. According to entertainment scooper C.K. Walsh and Charles Murphy, Jon Bernthal's reappearance in the MCU could be sooner than we think. With Daredevil Born Again set to enter production 2023, many have hoped to see other characters such as Christine Ritter's Jessica Jones appear. The latter was rumored to have a role within the She-Hulk, though it is speculated that Ritter's schedule didn't allow this to come to fruition. Marvel fan and podcaster Tom Smith managed to contact Murphy, who has correctly scooped Marvel projects such as Spider-Man No Way Home in the past. Basically, Born Again is reintroducing the Netflix characters to the mainstream, and they planned to bring Ritter, but there was a scheduling problem for Born Again, Smith claims. So Jessica Jones was supposed to appear in Daredevil Born Again, but she obviously can't because of scheduling conflicts. So they're probably like, okay, well, let's rewrite this particular role for the Punisher, Jon Bernthal. Look, you'd be a fool not to bring Jon Bernthal back as the Punisher. He was extraordinary. His performance as Frank Castle was heartfelt, moving, and you just loved his character. So that first season was so good. I go back and watch that first episode all the time with the construction workers because it was amazing. Jon Bernthal just sells the role. Look, I've been a Jon Bernthal fan since The Walking Dead days. You know, Shane. You know what I'm talking about? If you guys know, you know. So I absolutely was super stoked when I found out he was going to be playing Frank Castle for the Marvel Netflix, you know. So I definitely think that, you know, if Marvel Studios had any kind of brain, they would want Jon Bernthal to return as the Punisher in the MCU. Look, they're already bringing over, you know, some of these characters from the Netflix series. Obviously, with Vincent D'Onofrio as the glorious Kingpin and, you know, Charlie Cox as Daredevil. There's so much more to bring over that was already established in that universe. Because that universe was damn near perfect other than Iron Fist. I'm pretty sure we can all agree that they can recast for Iron Fist and reintroduce this particular character into the sequel of Shang-Chi, which would be dope. Can you imagine Shang-Chi and Iron Fist teaming up together? That would be some of the greatest kung fu we've seen in the MCU. But like characters like Luke Cage, you know, or, you know, Jessica Jones, I'm definitely fine with them bringing over. I really want to know what's happening with Luke Cage because I feel like Luke Cage is a significant, important character to the smaller level of, you know, the crime fighting in New York City, Hell's Kitchen, or even with Jessica Jones because that, you know, they are in a relationship in the comic books and they've met each other, you know, in the Marvel Netflix series. So why not bring over Luke Cage? I love the first two seasons of Luke Cage. Now, granted, the last Season 1 didn't have the best ending. I didn't really like the you know, his brother. I didn't like that whole storyline. I thought that shit was cheesy. But I love Season 2. Season 2 was so much more darker and grittier with the Jamaicans and all, man. It was dope and solid. But I'm really excited to see how they're going to incorporate all the Marvel Netflix. This is a soft reboot, a soft reintroduction of these characters. Now, Daredevil's supposed to appear in She-Hulk. We've all seen it in the TV spots and the trailers. Going to be dope. But I'm a little concerned, if I'm going to be honest with you. Look, Daredevil as a whole, very, very mature content. And I just don't want them to go down the route that She-Hulk is taking. Now, obviously, Daredevil Born Again and, She-Hulk are very two different comic books, very two different characters. She-Hulk, this particular Disney Plus show is like, a comedy show. From a lawyer's standpoint, like from the show's perspective, I think it's butt cheeks as a lawyer show. It just doesn't live up to the expectations of what Daredevil did as a lawyer show, and seeing Matt Murdock really go at it in court. Like, look, I'm just not the biggest fan of She-Hulk, you guys. I've watched every episode. I'm excited to see what they do with Daredevil. Hopefully they don't dummy him down and make him so comedic. Like, I am just not impressed with She-Hulk whatsoever. Ever since that first episode, it was good, and it just dropped drastically for me, you guys. Like, and I'm not a hater. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm hating on it. It's just not everything the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to produce is for me. Now, I will have to say that Phase 4 just hasn't been really my cup of tea. It hasn't, and it's really unfortunate for me to say that, because I've been a fan since day one. And I just feel like with Phase 4, that just the fast-paced introduction of these characters that aren't as lovable as Phase 1, 2, and 3 characters. I just feel like they're producing way too much content right now for, the Disney Plus series and stuff like that. Like, we're eating a lot right now. And I feel like it's really killing the quality of the product. Thor: Love and Thunder was probably the worst Marvel Studios project I've ever seen in my life. It ranks bottom right now in Phase 4. Just literally, I give She-Hulk, the next spot. Because, obviously, like I said, She-Hulk just really isn't doing for me. So I'm really hoping that, with the introduction of Matt Murdock, in No Way Home, it could really continue on. And, whatever they decide to do with She-Hulk, because he will be Matt Murdock, he will be Daredevil in this She-Hulk series. I just hope that with the unique and just creative and just great dialogue that we've had for the Marvel Netflix series, it transfers over. And I think that, with Vince D'Onofrio coming back as Kingpin in the Echo series as well, I think that, with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, I think they will definitely have an influence on these characters moving forward. They're just not going to let, any old random dialogue be written for these characters without giving it a say or so, because that would really not do the characters justice that we've been, introduced to. Like the article said, it's a reintroduction to these characters. But just, I hope that they're not changed so much where I just don't want to fuck with these characters. I'm really hoping that's not the case. Because like I said, I love the Marvel Netflix stuff, aside from, the Iron Fist stuff. I love it. It was just dope for the time. And it stood on its own 2 feet with not being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I don't care what anybody says, that Marvel Netflix stuff, it wasn't a part of the MCU. It just wasn't. You could say it was, but it wasn't. They always talk about the incident, but they never showed anything. So, and like I said, I tip my hats off to the creators over there and the writers. They really stood on their own 2 feet being on the Marvel Netflix stuff. And I have very, very high expectations for these characters transferring over into the MCU. No question about it. But I'm excited to see Jon Bernthal, come back as the Punisher. I know he's going to deliver it. And if they decide to give him his side project or his side movie or whatever, I'm pretty sure, he will have a say so in this character. Because, with what they created over there, it's very, 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 in its own little pocket. And, to kind of dummy down and add a bunch of comedic moments and shit like that, I just really not feeling the MCU comedic relief right now. It's not for me, you guys. It's really not. But I'm really hoping, we can end Phase 4 on a good note. We still have, Werewolf by Night approaching in October. How fun is that going to be? Cannot wait for the supernatural horror elements of the MCU. Really hope they take that serious. And then, ending it with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, you guys. Pizza Chef. Hopefully we get a final trailer sometime soon in the next month and a half. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about Jon Bernthal replacing, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank right now. Kristen Ritter, I believe that's her name, as Jessica Jones for a rumored role in Daredevil Born Again. Post your comments down below and let me know what you guys think. Peace.